This is part 4 on how to draw a room using one-point linear perspective. By now you already know how to draw a ceiling, a floor, and the walls, as well as some basics beginnings of doors and windows. What you're going to learn now is how to create depth of the doorway and windows, as well as hallways that you see beyond the door. So we have the basics of a door here. You already know how to do that. We want to create the thickness of the wall. So we're going to insert a rectangle. And we're going to place the cursor on the corner of the back part of the door. And we'll just draw it all the way down. Okay. Remember that we want these to be semi-thick lines, so you're going to change it up. I think we can still use 3s. If you've been using 2 all along, then you can use 2. Make sure that you click off of it to double check. It looks like my door is not quite lined up, so I'll have to do a little adjusting. If you need to adjust better and you can't see it, just go to zoom and then zoom in. Now I can try to line up the corner better. All right. Later, I would double check this corner. The next thing you want to do is create the thickness at the top of the doorway, and you're just going to use your vanishing line. So this looks awkward. I'll fix it later. But just go to Insert, and this time you're going to put your cursor on the vanishing point and drag it so that it lines up to that right corner of your rectangle that's going to represent the thickness of your doorway. This is if you're not drawing a door. Make sure you change the thickness, 3s. And then now you can drag that vanishing line back so it lines up perfectly. Let's just zoom in and see if that looks okay. So you can see it's a little bit off. So I'm just going to fix it. And there we go. So we zoom back out. Now we can draw a floor in the background, so it's like you're going into another room, and that's simple. You just go to Insert, a horizontal line. Make sure you do a Shift key when you draw your horizontal line. And then change the thickness. I think I'm going to make this a 2-point line because it's in the distance. Okay. So there's your doorway. It doesn't have a door. I'll show you how to draw doors that are opened up in another tutorial. So here's your next room. I'm going to draw a window the same way that I did the door, so I'm going to do it very quickly. Draw a vertical, Shift key down, whatever size you want it to be. Go to change the size, and you add the vanishing lines from the top to the dot. I'm going to change it to 3. And then the same thing on the bottom. And this is stuff you already know how to do. We establish the back part of the window by creating another vertical line. And then I'm going to show you how to put the depth in that. All right, so now we just have to bring back the vanishing lines so we don't see them. All right, so the same way we did the depth on the doorway, we're going to create the depth of the window, because if you're way down or way back in the room looking forward, you would see the thickness of the wall on the side facing you and above, because it's above the dot. So again, we're going to start off with the insert the rectangle. Oops. Then from that corner, draw whatever rectangle size you want. Because it's in the distance, it doesn't have to be super thick. I don't like how thick that is, so I'm definitely going to change the size. Okay. Then I would zoom in more so you can really draw the next line, because it's going to be even harder because I don't like this line. Eventually I might make these lines thinner, but for now I'm just going to go with the flow. To make the underside of the window, start at the dot this time, and then you just drag your line right through the corner, the left corner of the rectangle you just drew. Okay? Oops. What the heck? Okay. Let's do it again. Click off and then bring the vanishing line back. The very last part of your project before we move on to painting would be to clean up lines. So anything that doesn't meet up great, you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back out, and then you'll see that it's in 3D. Actually, I'm not going to zoom out. I'm going to put a window so that you could have the top part of the window and the bottom part, and it's very easy. Just start with a line, go from the center, and then figure out where you want the top part of your window and the bottom. This would be one of those where you can open the window up. And I think that's already in 2. And then you just drag back the vanishing line. So there's so many things you can do using perspective. Bring that back up. Okie dokie. So that's the end of this tutorial. I will show you how to draw hallways. Actually, I'll do one more hallway. You can see this stands out bad. I would fix that later. So do a hallway. You just start off with the vertical line again. Click off, insert a line. Shift key, bring down to the floor. Make it a 3. Now, all you have to do is create the next room. And then you need a floor line, obviously, as well. And that's all we need for this tutorial. I'll show you how to do stairs in the next one. There you go. So we're getting a lot of depth in our room.